Sabathia.
Yeah. All-time great Cleveland Indians pitchers.
Jay,
It was great when we were great.
Let me tell you something. I got to cut you off because I got to cut you off.
What?
Because,
What? Who does
first
that?
of all, as someone who grew up in New York, not a Yankees fan, I know you played half your career for the Indians, but like I hated the Yankees. And CeCe's one of my all-time favorite players. And I first saw him pitch. I was doing play-by-play in 1999 for the Batavia Muck Dogs, and you were pitching for the Mahoning Valley Scrappers.
Yeah.
And I saw you pitch, and I said, whoa, this guy's going to be in the big leagues very soon because you stood out. Because, you know, at that level, how many guys make it to the majors? Maybe 2-3 guys per team.
Yeah.
I think Victor Martinez on that team, right?
Yeah, Victor was catching.
And we had on our team that year, Marlon Byrd played for Batavia. I think Ryan Madsen was on that team, and then Ryan Howard the next year. Chase Utley soon after that. But, like, I never forget seeing you pitch there. And that place would get big crowds for A-ball. And, like, do you ever think about those days, like, coming up in the minors and like, did you know how good you could be at that point?
No, I had no idea. I mean, you know, when you're in the minor leagues, you're just trying to figure out, like, how do I get back to Cleveland? I remember, like, getting drafted out of high school. They brought me here to Cleveland. I did the whole press conference. And then they dropped me off in Burlington, North Carolina. And I'm like,
Welcome to the show.
Like, how am I going to get back to the show?
What is
you
this?
don't see it path. You
What
know
is
I'm saying?
this?
Like, I walked into the clubhouse, and it was a bunch of, like, black dudes over in the corner. And I went to go say what's up. Nobody said a word to me. Everybody was Dominican. I had never seen a Dominican guy in my life. So, you know what I mean? Like, I was 17 years old.
Start doing sign language, bro.
Yeah.
You know what you're talking about here, bro?
I was just trying to figure everything out, and I was lucky that I got drafted by the Indians organization or the Guardians organization now. And had Carl Willis and all these different people that could help me grow.
Right.
Because I wasn't ready to be a professional baseball player. I didn't want to wash clothes when I left home. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I had the right organization. I really got blessed by getting drafted by Cleveland.
At what age? Because you made a statement here, and we've been pros, right? So at what age do you felt like you understood what it meant to be a pro?
Man, probably like 25, 26.
Right.
That
And
long?
I was in the big leagues at 20.
Right.
You know, so I had Ellis Burks and Dave Burba and Robbie Alomar, all these guys that had to. They raised me.
Showed
you know what I'm
what's
saying?
happening, right.
Literally raised me.
What was your welcome to the big league moment?
I think my welcome to the big league moment was just being around the team. Because like I said, I was 20 years old, and the next youngest person on the team was 25 at the time. You know what I'm saying? So it was just literally learning how to get on the road, how to, put my clothes on the laundry loop, like all these different things. Yeah.
What about a pitch me moment when you're toeing the rubber and you look in and you're like,
oh, it was
whoa,
the very first day.
I'm
It was Cal Ripken.
Wow.
It was Cal Ripken, the very first game.
What's
And
going through your mind as you're looking into Cal, and what happened in that at-bat?
Like the first thing I thought was like, dang, like I'm in the big league. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then the second thing was like, damn, I should have slept a little more. I'm tired. And then the next thing, it was like Cal hit a double down the line. I'm like, oh shit.
So you struck him out looking.
I ain't gonna leave my boy out here on the aisle. So let me get my very first game as a pro was against the Lakers in Chicago. So they start me that day, right? So I come out and let me tell you who come to the jump circle. Magic, Kareem, Worthy.
Yeah, you talk about
I
it.
walk through sweating.
I'm like, oh my God, there go my dude. I'm out here with these dudes.
Somebody get a picture of this.
And then Magic says, so we start the game, because I'm checking Worthy. Oh, we run these plays for James. We go to James. James scored the first time. I said, okay, James scored the first time. We're going to go down and come back. They come back the second time. They said, no, Magic, run the thing with James. He ran that thing 8 straight times. Worthy had 16 off the rip.
Did you know?
Welcome to the league.
And I was like, oh my God.
That's crazy. Did you know you was kind of different? Like, so from me playing baseball, when I was at a young age, there's not many black kids just playing baseball. And so, like, when I saw, I'm like, who does the Indians got a dude that got tattoos? He about 6'7". He like jewelry, like I like jewelry.
He had me lost when he had the gang hat. That was my thing. I was like, oh yeah, that's my man right there. I was like, that's my man right there.
Nah.
Did you know, like, you had an impact like that, for younger players?
I definitely tried to maintain myself for sure, whether it was the baggy clothes, the Jordans, the hat, the tattoos, all of that stuff. But no, I didn't think I was different because where I grew up in Vallejo, we all played baseball.
Okay.
You know how basketball is the culture in the hood, in different places, wherever it's New York or wherever. In the Bay, in Vallejo, it's baseball.
Okay.
So, like, that's what we played, and we played at a high level. We were really, really good. So, when I got into other places, like, as I got into my teen years and get better, then it's like I'm the only black kid on the team, or it's only like 2 or 3 of us. Then that's when I was like, oh, this is, this sport is kind of, it's kind of different. It ain't like what I thought. But, no, as a youngster, like, no, like, you play baseball. Like, that. All our dads were coaches. Like, it was a community thing that everybody loved.
Are you familiar with the RBI program, Reviving Baseball
Absolutely,
in the inner city?
absolutely.
Here in Cleveland, it's been a wild success.
Yeah.
For starters, the field that they play on, the Jim Thome Field, is Field of Dreams. And our team this year made it to the World Series.
I seen that.
In Atlanta. They advanced out of the region from Chicago. It's the numbers for blacks in the game have gone down to really
7%.
Scary levels,
Yeah.
particularly where they were in the 70s.
Yeah.
Do you see the RBI program changing that? Do you feel that it's making a real difference? Because I think this was the first time ever. I think it was 3 of the first 5 draft picks were black kids from the United States. I don't think that's happened.
Yeah, no, I mean this draft class was a lot different. This 22 class, and when I was playing, I thought kids weren't playing the game. Definitely black kids in the inner city, I thought weren't playing the game. That's not true. Kids are playing the game. It's just we got to get them the more opportunities to get to the higher levels, to get to the perfect games, to get to baseball factory. It is working. RBI is working, and the 3 of the 5 kids that you seen get drafted at MLB started in MLB programs. My son started in those MLB programs. They started in the EDI, and now they have Hank Aaron and all these different programs to develop kids and identify talent at a young age. We just need to make sure that we can keep them in the game. From 12 to 15, from little league until high school is when they fall out.
Are they losing them to football,
basketball? You lose them to everything, whatever. Whatever it is, you lose them.
Yeah.
When they don't have the structure. So we need something from 12 to 14, 15 that can keep these kids interested in baseball. But they're playing the game.
Yeah.
And I said it in 2007, and people got mad at me. I was like, it's a crisis in the game. I look around, it's only one black player on each team.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe even some teams had none at that time.
Sure.
And this was 2007, and everybody jumped down my throat. So, no, I mean, the way the game looked in the 60s or the 70s and the 80s is that's how I grew up watching the game. You know what I mean? And that's what I wanted to get back to, where it was 26, 27%.
One of my first memories of baseball is Oscar Gamble with his afro coming out of the helmet. Cece, you mentioned your son. Obviously, he's a freshman. He's a freshman at Georgia Tech, right? What's very unusual is that usually when we have legacies that are someday going to be in the big leagues, or at least we think, it's usually if the dad was a pitcher, the kid's a pitcher. Not in this case. Your son's a big first baseman, huh?
Yeah, he's a first baseman, man, and he goes by Karsten. The kid, he likes to be in his own lane. You know what I mean? And he loves baseball. He obviously, I mean, I sent him a picture yesterday from 2 days ago from the game here. He's like, take a picture of a slider with me. So he still loves this place, and he loves baseball. He pitched early. So he pitched at a young age, but I wasn't around, obviously, playing.
Yeah.
So I wasn't there to kind of help him. And, he grew up really in the tri-state area. He was born here, but he grew up in the tri-state area. Yeah. And he would pitch at, 11, 12, and there would be dads, making comments, oh, I thought he would be better or throw harder. He liked to pitch when he was younger, but he just kind of got away from it. If I was home more, he would have been a pitcher. Yeah. But I think my 11-year-old, I got one that just turned 12. He's going to pitch for sure because I'm home all the time.
Okay, talk about that. You just said something that was fascinating to me. Like, you and Brad, I talk to Brad all the time about this. When you're a professional athlete, not being home, not being around your children, and trying to go between being a professional, being the best you can be. Talk about some of the I guess the downsides of not being around your family when you're trying to be a professional athlete.
Yeah, no, I mean, you got to have a strong partner. My wife is, obviously the backbone of our family. She's an baseball agent now at CAA, but she raised our kids. I can't really say that I was there to day to day to help raise little C. I was there for the big moments, Christmas and all these different trips we go on in the off season, but day to day, it was her. So however he turned out, however these kids turned out, is all on her.
Right.
So, I mean, I have to give her the tremendous credit for him getting to Georgia Tech. And that's why I think I'm so involved now, because I feel like I missed so
missed
much.
that time.
Yeah, so like I wanted to drop him off. I wanted to go to Target and get all the stuff. and
Dude,
put
I know
everything
exactly what
together.
you're
You know
talking
what I mean? So I'm super involved now, and I feel like, now that he's out of the house, obviously at Georgia Tech, me and my 12-year-old are get really close, because him and Carson and Carter are really, really close.
Okay.
But now that Carson's out of the house, I feel like me and Carter are starting connecting a little
you're
more
gonna fill that
now
void.
because I'm home. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And I think we may have a closer relationship than me and Carson are like best friends.
Right.
But I feel like me and Carter may be closer because I'm here from 12 now until
Right,
for
the next
forever.
6 years.
Yeah,
I love the commercial you did with Carson, with the virtual reality. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, the
Can we get one of
reality
those
stuff.
for the studio?
Oh yeah, let's do it. It's fun too.
Because I watched it, I'm like, I need that. I got to work on my swing. You look like you could still. You look like you're in better shape.
I couldn't play like this though.
You couldn't.
No, I mean when I got down
remember
to
when
this
you lost weight,
yeah,
you
it
said
was
you
terrible.
lost some of your power and some of that.
Just
you
my
look
balance
great
and
though. What do you
everything.
do to stay in shape like this?
It was just my diet. It happened during COVID when we had the time we were, unfortunately in COVID we were locked in. I just took that time to kind of change my diet. I got away from all the sweets and the cereal and everything that everybody was accustomed to seeing me eating, and I really just locked in and kind of just changed my palate. Now it's more like Mediterranean diet. I eat a lot of fish. We go to dinner. I don't eat a bunch of steak or crazy things.
How do you feel?
I feel great day to day. I got my golf stuff on. I'm on my way to the golf course, and
You've got to be down.
feel really good.
How much from your peak at your playing day?
My peak, man, I be walking around. People don't know this. I'll be walking around like 338. I was talking about Italy. I went to Italy. I went on a trip to Italy one time. I came back. I was like 343. I was like,
You gained 20 pounds. Easy.
like easy, but I didn't feel it.
Right.
Like, I was just walking around like it's the bread, the wine, and at the time I was drinking, like it was, it was different.
See, when you like 6'7",
you can walk around like
you
that.
feel like and you got
I'm good.
You wear it good.
Yeah,
You be like,
I'm
oh,
good.
you ain't that big.
I remember when I first got dressed, my very first big league spring training, my locker was right next to Sandy Alomar's. And we just weighed in, and I came back, and he was like, "How much you weigh?" And I was like, 272. He was like, "You're gonna be 300 pounds in 2 years." And I was like, "What? No chance."
No.
2 years later, I was 310.
You already seen it.
Where are you now? If you don't mind me asking, if you were 338 at
Yeah,
your
I'm
peak.
265 now.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
around
6'7",
6'7",
70 pounds.
6'7", 265 is thin. He probably got a couple cuts. He probably got a couple of abs, bro. So I'm like, yo.
So see, I'm gonna cover some questions because you was throwing smoke from that mound. You was throwing smoke. So, how do you think the people felt in the box when you was coming with the smoke?
Man, I hope they was intimidated.
More than 3,000 of them went back to the dugout with the strikeout.
Only one of 3 left-handed pitchers, I believe, with 3,000 strikeouts.
Yeah,
in history of
Carlton
baseball.
and
Randy Johnson.
Randy Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're there and you're in command on the mound, right? How does it feel when you're in command? When you're in command of that ball, and you're like, that ball gonna go right there between.
No,
the
but
hole
you know
right
what?
there.
You know why I always like pitching is because you're not just in command of the ball. You're in command of the whole stadium. Like nothing starts until I'm ready. Like games start at 7:05. If I'm not ready, we start at 7:07.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I want to walk around the mound, if I want to grab the rosin, if I want to go back there and talk to Derek, or if I want to talk to A-Rod or whoever, I can do that. You know what I'm saying? I just always loved
I never thought about that.
like orchestrating. I felt like I was orchestrating the stadium.
Okay. Yeah.
Like it was all on me. Like everything was dictated. We win or lose based on how I felt or how I did. So I love that part of
That's great.
of
Do
commanding.
you still throw it out? Do you give BP to Karsten? Are you?
Man, Carson hates my BP.
Why?
Because I always hit him. I can't throw that ball
You're knocking
straight.
him off the
It's always cutting or like I have to throw it with 3 fingers. But I throw
hard do
a
you-
lot with Carter.
how hard would you throw right now?
I can't throw hard.
No?
I mean, that last pitch I threw, I tore my whole shoulder,
yeah.
ripped
Right.
everything out. So I got enough to throw a little bit BP, but Carson hates it.
See, you mentioned Derek Jeter there. Obviously, ESPN has that documentary out now. Did you watch it? Were you interested in it? Like, what did you think?
I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
I did the interview, obviously.
Yeah.
I haven't seen. People been telling me it's good. I haven't had the chance to sit down and watch.
Because he did say some things about it, like because Derek never said anything controversial for like his entire career.
He said something controversial?
Why?
No
Well,
chance.
for his standards, it was
for
controversial.
him, but he basically said like he was pissed at A-Rod, like that A-Rod kind of threw him under the bus. And I was, which is true, but like I was surprised.
He had never addressed it publicly.
Never.
Like that.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. Which is good. I mean, that's a part of doing the doc. I mean, that's why, I was hoping that, what I wanted people to get from him is that, he's funny. Did that come across? And
Absolutely.
Yeah, it did.
Was he cussing in the doc?
Yeah,
like, I wanted the real him to come across.
Well, when
in
he
the
talked
doc,
about the
what I'm saying?
Subway Series, it was really funny because he's like, we couldn't lose to the Mets. Like, he was making fun of the Mets, and I thought that was really funny.
Like his personality, I want people to know, and because I didn't know that. Even when I was here, I mean, people know that I did not want to go to New York. I did not want to be in the middle of their drama and all that stuff.
Sure.
But as soon as I got there, it was like, oh, this is.
What was the first thing that hit you? Said, "Wow, I'm in New York." What's the difference between playing in the market? Because he talks about it all the time. When you play in New York, that are baseball towns. Like that's baseball all year round.
I grew up in New York, and
He grew up in New York.
This is not a baseball town.
It
was.
You
It's
know
not
what?
now.
It is. I mean, I think New York is just a sports city. I think it's more of a basketball town. I just think they haven't had good basketball.
Well, that's
If
true.
the Knicks actually
Yeah.
would win, they
People
would burn
would-
that city
You're right.
down.
You're right.
Like
You're
it's
right.
actually a basketball town.
Yes.
They just love winners. Like the Yankees
true.
have been winning for the last
That's a good
50
point.
years,
That's a
so
good point.
it's a baseball town.
Yeah.
But if the Mets were, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I think it's a basketball city though. I think
Yes.
this is more of a baseball and football
Even
city.
now, even still.
I
because,
think so.
man,
I mean-
on our show when we talk, the Guardians are in first place.
Yeah.
We're now in late August, and when we talk Guardians, we lose viewers.
I think it's baseball just in general. I think that's just baseball as a sport.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's
Like
true.
we don't do
Losing
a
its
good
popularity.
we don't do a good enough job of marketing it. We don't do a good enough job of using our sponsorships or who's whatever our big sponsor is Scott's or
Right.
Pepsi or whatever. Why Stephen Kwan or Emmanuel Clase not on a riding mower doing a Scott's commercial?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like NBA
See,
does
that's a great idea.
Right.
We need to get that done.
But the
don't
NBA
promote our
does
guys.
such a great job of State Farm commercials and putting their young stars.
Why does MLB cannot make the connection? Like the NBA makes the connection between the game and the
So does the
and
NFL.
You know what?
NFL between the game and the people.
I think it's the Player Association or the players in the league don't have the relationship that they have in the NFL where, the NFL, the NBA, they have a salary cap, but the revenue is the
It's
players.
split. Yep.
The
We get-
players
we
are
get-
interested in
right,
growing
right,
the league
right,
because
right,
they
right.
getting that money.
Right,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Where in the,
So
in
there's
the-
not that partnership.
It's not that partnership in the MLB, and the players don't have the interest in growing they have the interest in growing the game.
Right.
They want the game to grow, but they don't care if the league grows.
Sure. Right.
Like you got a lot of guys that show up to NBA Care stuff because they want the league
Yeah,
to grow.
right, right.
Yeah.
And that's why the league is worldwide, and that's the difference.
And
I mean, I don't know if salary cap is the answer, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying a partnership.
there's gotta be a partnership
is a
between
better
the two.
way.
Yeah.
Baseball's a regional sport too. Like people in baseball root for their local team more, whereas like in basketball, definitely in basketball, a little bit in football,
It's
people
driven
root
by
for
the-
the stars,
the players.
right? Like there's a lot of people that wherever LeBron goes, now I'm a Laker
driven
fan,
by the
now I'm a
market.
Cavs fan,
Yeah.
because you love LeBron or you love Giannis or whoever you love.
What do you make of the Guardians? You follow them closely enough to make a assessment of where they are and what
I
they're
mean,
doing?
I watch them enough. I mean, I do. I think it's a team that, wasn't trying to win and they got everybody that's coming up and having a great year. All these young players, I think they called up 14 different players that have come up and like made an impact. So I think they're, ahead of where they want to be in winning.
Are they ready to take that step, do you think?
I
you got
do.
the
I mean,
Yankees
the
just running away with
pitching is
everything.
right there.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
the
know what I
Yankees have
mean?
been playing terribly since
They
the
are
All-Star
now,
break.
but when you look at
Yeah.
them overall, what
The
they've
Astros
done-
are the best team right now.
What
Yeah.
wins in the playoffs is pitching.
Pitching.
Yep.
And the
ours is
Guardians
coming
have
around.
the pitching.
Yeah,
They
it's
have
coming
that.
around.
So,
McNuggets has a question.
And
for you.
Clase might be the best closer in baseball right now.
yeah.
He's
I think
as
he
good
is,
as anybody.
For sure.
McNuggets, did you say you have a question?
I do. Cece, can you hear me? Is your IP working awesome? So Shohei Ohtani's getting all the love now. He's obviously pitching, hitting.
He's a
but
good hitter.
you were the original Shohei in a way, Cece. I don't know if
They
you
were.
know this, but you were the only player since the designated hitter was adopted to hit a home run in both the American League and the National League in the same season. So if you were given the opportunity to do what Shohei was doing, how do you think you would have fared being an everyday hitter plus pitching?
I think I would have been okay. I mean, I think I would have had to do it from the start, though.
Yeah.
If I would have been hitting like right from high school,
And
I
never
think
stopped.
I think I could have hit.
What was your
sure.
lifetime average? Do you know? Batting average.
207.
Yeah, it was low.
207.
That's
Yeah.
good
I got
for
all
a
the
pitcher.
numbers.
No, that's great for a pitcher.
That's really good
terrible.
for a pitcher.
You're not.
But
you're not
for an
pitching on
athlete,
that, though.
but for an athlete, that's terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, we
You
got
know
a
what I'm
catcher
saying?
that's hitting about
Yeah,
30.
but
I got you.
Right, but compared to
For a
most
little while, I was hitting
pitchers,
250, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's good. Like, I can put that on my card. But the last couple of years got
Yeah,
me.
but how often are you hitting? Like, you're not taking BP that often, were you?
No, we weren't.
Right, just
We
the
didn't.
series
And
where
I was
you
in the
were
American
in.
League a lot
Right,
of, I
so-
mean, most of my career. I
Hey,
only
look,
played National League for
you
those
say
2
it's
months.
terrible. The Indians have an everyday catcher that's hitting about 30 points lower.
Yeah, right, that's true.
Trust me.
Same thing with-
207 would have been.
Their center
great.
fielder ain't hitting 207 either.
I got to get to the T though. You know, we can't. They just ask you these baseball questions. We got to get to this culture stuff. Now, you came in the league when you was what, 20?
I was 20.
You was 20 years old. Now you're a young kid, black kid. You doing your thing, and you get your first check. What's the dumbest thing looking back you ever bought? Like you look,
bought a
you
lot
look
of
back,
dumb shit.
look back, look back, like what the hell
All right,
was
then
that?
give us the top three. If there's
Yeah,
a lot
yeah,
of them, give us the top three.
Man, I think the first dumbest thing I bought when I was that young was I bought the Hummer, the H1.
Did you?
Yeah, and I'm just like, I'm still living in my grandma's house. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't even got a house yet. And I'm driving through the hill with this shit. Like, this looking
I'm gonna give you one. I'm gonna give you one. So the first thing I bought was that bull check. I went down to Lynchport in Chicago and bought me a 944 Turbo and paid for it. And I wouldn't even pick it up. They like, you come and get this car? No, I ain't coming to get the car. It's already paid for. Like, they towed it to my house. I was living in an apartment. They were like, we gotta bring you this car.
I love.
no, it was every time I got a check, I did something stupid, no matter how old I was.
That's dumb.
Same thing. The very first day I signed with the Indians, the Guardians, I signed in spring training. We were in Winter Haven. And I drove straight to the dealership in Tampa and got me an S600.
You were right there.
Everybody
You
was
were right
telling me,
there.
don't buy nothing, don't do it. I bought a Rolex and an S600 all on the same day.
See, I don't even know this. I don't know this brother, right? This is why I call it collective identity, because I don't know him. But when he said that, it was to be the first thing I did. The first two things is, let me go get an unlimited supply of Yankee Blue hats. I need all the J's. I need a Rolex, and I need a car that I can't fit in because I'm big. And you just do it, and you be right at the crib with your mom. She'd be like, "Why did you buy all this?"
You know how many times I got in trouble for wearing Yankee Blue hats when I was with the Indians?
Wow.
Oh my God! I'd be courtside at Warriors games, and I'd be having a Yankee Blue on. They're like, "Why are you wearing a Yankee hat?"
They don't get
It's
it.
not.
It's
About
not.
the
a Yankee
Yankees.
hat.
Well, most people don't
It's
know
not.
that, though.
You know what I'm saying?
Uniform. That's our uniform.
This is I'm the captain.
I'm the captain now.
I'm the captain now.
Look at me.
That's what this hat is.
I am the captain now.
Hey, Cece, I gotta ask you about like, because obviously most of your career was in Cleveland and New York.
That's
But
off the chain.
when you got traded to Milwaukee that year, that stretch by you for those 2 months and change, whatever it was one of the most memorable things. It feels like, thinking back about it now, for me as someone who watched you, I felt like you pitched every day. It seemed like you were
striking
like,
everybody
we
out.
went back to like 1920 where the guys would pitch every 2 seconds. That was one of the most incredible things I've ever seen. Were you dead at the end of the year? I mean, like,
Oh yeah, I was mentally.
Yeah.
Mentally, I was dead. My body felt phenomenal, but
you put that whole team on your back.
yeah,
That's
but
how it felt like. From
It
the
was.
outside.
It was. I was so like it was emotional because leaving here, I had never known anything but being an Indian, and the way I got traded. All my guys, like I remember, Mike Segui, he's retiring today. We're having a big celebration for him tonight. But he came to the back of the plane and he was crying before he even said a word to me. So I already knew what was, you know what I mean? Like I already knew. So I remember driving home, like I cried all night. And my wife looked at me, she was like, you gonna sit here and cry or you gonna go to a team that actually wants you?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She was like, this city, I mean, we love it here. Our kids were born here, but that team, they want you in Milwaukee. So I was like, you know what? You're right. Like, I had planned on, because I got traded on the Sunday before the All-Star break, and I was supposed to pitch on Tuesday in Cleveland, and then Sunday again, and then have the All-Star break. And the guys from Mark Antonaccio, the owner of the Brewers, called me. He was like, "Hey, you can wait. I can send the plane on Saturday. You don't even have to pitch until after the All-Star break." And I was like, you know what? Send the plane tomorrow. I'm coming. I left on Monday. I pitched on Tuesday, pitched again on Sunday, and I was like, you know what, I'm here. And the reason why I didn't want the season to end and why I pitched so much is because we talked about, all the black players. I walked in that clubhouse and I had Prince Fielder, Billy Hall, Ricky Weeks, Mike Cameron was the leader. You know what I mean? It was Ray Durham was there.
Ray Durham.
It was just, and Dave Risky, my best friend from the Indians, had just been over there all year. So it was like walking into a frat house. I was like, I don't want this season to end.
Wow.
So if I got to pitch every fucking day, guess what? I'm sorry. If I got to pitch every day, I'm pitching every day.
What a
man, bleep me out.
Hey, I'll tell you, what a shame.
We're going to let that ride.
What a shame Prince Fielder got hurt, because he was a hell of a player.
Oh, he's phenomenal.
He was a great
He was
hitter.
a great athlete. I think people.
He was, because
he
he was
played
big.
really good defense too. I think people don't really get that.
See, what's your life like now? Like when you make the kind of money that you made, obviously you can just kick it up and watch the days go by. That gets boring, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Jay
I remember
understands that.
years ago when you were a guest on Cold Pizza out in Las Vegas. We were doing the show for the week out there.
Yep.
I remember talking to you about that and thinking at the time, you were still playing, and I just thought, this dude's going to go from the field to the box and be one of the best broadcasters the game's ever seen. Your knowledge of the game, the way you talk about the game. I thought for sure you were going to do that. Is that on the horizon for you? Is that something that doesn't interest you?
Not unless I can dress like this.
Right.
Dude,
They gonna let me go in the
now.
booth. Like I'm not wearing a suit to talk about baseball.
That's right. That's right. Forget
Never
that.
ever doing that.
That's
So
nonsense.
If they change the way you can dress, then I'll do
It's
it.
changing, though.
It's
It really
ridiculous
is.
that they got to get dressed up.
Yeah,
Manning
it's
and Underwood a lot of times are in polos. When they're in shirts and ties, I'm like, what are they doing?
I don't even want to be in a
Nobody wears a
polo.
shirt and tie
I
to a
want
baseball game.
Jordans in a t-shirt.
And you know what? When
Like-
it comes right down to it, one of the things that we talked about before we launched this show,
Yeah, he did.
why not look like your audience? Nobody's sitting at home in a suit and tie
And
watching us talk about sports.
So I do the alternate broadcast with MLB Network where we sit around like this, and
Right.
we watch the game and
Kinda
the
like the
former
Manning
players.
cast with Monday Night
Exactly.
Football.
So we do
Yeah.
that, and I'll do that all day.
and it looks like you're having a blast doing
And it's
that.
so much fun.
Yeah.
But I'm never gonna do a traditional sit down and with a suit and tie and talk
See,
about
that's part of the
not
problem. You
who
see,
I
you
am.
talk about you have to meet people where they are.
Yeah.
Like
right.
we're not there with the suit and tie gig anymore.
Right.
Just let me come in in a flex setup.
That's so
and that's
dumb.
what
It's such an old
because you
school
want my
mentality.
knowledge. You don't want my gear.
Yeah.
Right.
But who
So let
cares
me be
about
geared
what
out
I
how I
wear?
want to be. You want the knowledge I'm about to give you because you can't get this anywhere
And
else.
plus, probably what I'm gonna wear is better than with the suit.
Right,
that,
right,
you know
right,
what I mean?
right,
The cheap ass suit that I'm probably gonna put on anyway.
Exactly.
Every day, you
That
know what I'm
men's
saying?
warehouse
Like, yeah, I'm not like so.
Be you.
Yeah.
That's what I
Because
mean.
the one thing the viewer will connect with is authenticity.
Yes, they will.
If you're real, they'll connect with you. McNuggets has a question for you.
This isn't even a question, Cece. Our producer Steve Becker just texted us and said, if you want to join the show, you are more than welcome.
Yeah, and we'll let you dress like that every
We
day.
just come in and kick it. That's all we do.
And we have a running competition for Jordans.
Oh yeah.
So we got to do the
I
time
thought
is
you were
out.
out.
We got
Hold
to
on,
do here.
hold on.
We got the
We
latest.
Now, this guy, I've been trying to get him to put that call in the mic. You know, Mike.
I'm not calling nobody.
He's not calling nobody. But how many?
But I could outdo y'all if I did the call.
I know. See, you cheating. That's why. How many J's you got? How many people you think you got, bro? You winning like that?
Hundreds.
Is it?
Huh? Oh no, I'm just over. It's probably over. I probably got over 1,000 pairs. Of
So
Do they come directly to the house? Does Mike put you on that? It's a couple people on the list. Jada Kiss is on the list. It's a couple guys that Mike just slide them to. You just get them when they come out. Is that
every
true?
6 weeks.
so
You are so jealous right
See
now.
what she's living her life.
Here you go,
know that.
Jay. Jay, so see when you see Mike, you know we call him the Black Cat, right? You go tell him, tell the Black Cat this. He used to get them Jordans shipped to the Bulls practice facility, right? Scottie Pippen and I will steal them Jordans so they come in the box. Correct. 12. My brother wear 12 in Columbus. Give me them Scotty. And we under shoe contracts, other shoe contracts. Give me them Jordans he got though.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to mail them on.
So I've been on Jordan since 2007, and my little cousin just started. He started wearing a 15 about 5-6 years ago. He was living in New York with me for years, and he would like go through the shoes first, and he'd be like, "Oh, you don't want these. I take these. I take these." So I had to get the app. to see like what shoes are like, you know,
hottest,
fake, like
right, the
what
hottest.
ones are hot because he was like
He's taking the hottest one.
he was taking the hot shit and leaving me on the trash.
Sure it was.
Hey, bro, he was doing the right thing.
He was doing the right thing. He was doing what I would do.
I'm sure you know this, but your size 15 cleat is the largest cleat in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
That's pretty cool.
Aaron Judge will be there at some point. Though.
Yeah. Why, is Judge bigger than 15?
He's 17.
Oh, my.
Look at the
He
size
was
of that guy. What is
17.
he, 6'8"?
You know how hard it is to get 15 Jordans. You gotta go rob
that's
somebody.
tough.
Literally,
That's
Yeah,
tough.
that's a
That's
tough.
tough.
That's a tough
and,
ass.
and that's the one thing about like being on Jordan is he's so loyal.
Yeah.
You know, as he's as loyal to you as you are to him. And even in my retirement, every 6 weeks the boxes still come.
That's
so
amazing.
everything. I mean, there's
Shout
every
out to
day I
Mike.
wear Jordans every single day.
Shout out to Mike.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah, he good dude.
that's a beautiful
Good dude.
thing. They need to pay me in Jordans. Don't pay me.
When
Just
you look
give me
back
the
on your career, CC, I know that you had so many individual moments, winning the Cy Young obviously in 2007, but as you look back, what is the moment for you that you'll always remember on the field?
I think I guess winning the World Series.
That was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what you.
Did it
that's what
feel
you
as good
play
as you
for.
thought it would?
It did. It did. It felt. I mean, and I always say this, and and I'm not just saying it because I'm on the show, but it felt good. But it felt like I should have won it here. 07, we should have won.
I couldn't
You know what I'm
agree
saying?
more.
So
Man,
I
couldn't
was
agree more.
after 07. Man, this is crazy because I was like, man, am I gonna be like a Charles Barkley? Am I gonna be like Karl Malone? Like, am I gonna be one of those players that like have all these numbers, great, and do all this stuff, but like can't get over the hump? Because that was like 2007. If I pitched good, we win the World Series, like no question. And so I go into that 09 playoffs just thinking like, man, like this is like on me. You know what I'm saying? And to be able to get it done felt great.
How
So
did
like
that change
was.
your mindset in 09 after going through 07? Did it better prepare you for
It
09?
did. It did. It going through 07 and then 08 in Milwaukee, having that run prepared me for 09. But if I had the same mentality that I did
In 07.
in 09 that I did in 07, then we win for
Yeah.
sure.
What's your greatest memory of pitching in Cleveland?
My greatest memory of pitching here would be just that 07 season and just how locked in me and Vic were. And just like looking around and it's kind of like that team that they have now where they all came up together.
Yeah.
And you look around and like, this like Vic we'll be on the mound, I'd be on the mound and he'd be behind the plate. He wouldn't have to give me a sign. Like
Really?
he'd just do like this and I'd know what pitch to throw.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or he'd do like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we had those type of connections on that
connected,
team.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that group of guys, we were so close, and it made all the difference.
What's your relationship with Victor today? Because I know you guys were close all three.
Still
playing
super
days.
close.
Is it really?
Yeah, and
You
our
see him
boys
regularly?
playing, and he plays. Little Vic plays perfect game tournaments all the time, so we would see each other in the summers, and Little Vic just signed to go to FIU, and Vic lives in Orlando, so
Nice.
I'll see them all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, when you got traded, and then Cliff Lee gets traded the next year.
Yeah.
When you saw the news that he got traded, were you like, of course he got traded? Were you?
Yeah, I mean, well, after I got traded, I think Vic got traded.
Yep.
They traded Risky got traded. I mean, they traded 07. They pretty much just got rid of everybody. And I remember telling Cliff after I got traded in 07. In 08, I was like, bro, just go win the Cy Young.
Yeah.
And they'll trade you.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knew, like, at that time, you knew you had to get traded to get paid.
Yeah.
So we knew we all weren't going to get paid here.
Right. What's wild is that, like, obviously in the 90s and into the early 2000s, like, the attendance here was always great. And when I first moved here from New York in 2011, fans would always call, when they would complain about the Indians, they would always say, yeah, as soon as they traded CC, I stopped going to games.
Right.
You and Lee, but especially you, it always got brought up. Like, that was, you getting traded was like a knife through the heart of so many fans.
Yeah, because it wasn't just me. It was that group of guys. It was that group of guys came up through the ranks in this organization, through this city, just like those mid '90s teams.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So we were homegrown, all of us.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing with those '90 teams that we started making noise on the national stage. So it wasn't just I represented that group, I guess.
Yeah, but you don't need to diminish your role. I mean, like, people loved you. You were very popular.
I loved it here. Yeah,
right.
No, this was home to me.
CC, how does baseball address that problem? Because Cleveland, Milwaukee, Cincinnati, Detroit, Pittsburgh,
Oakland,
they
Tampa.
are all Oakland. There's many others. Tampa,
Yeah.
they're feeder markets to the coastal teams that have the big money. And when you look at the disparity, I looked today at the Major League standings. The run differential is something I always focus in on. The Dodgers have outscored their opponents this year by 245. The Yankees by 190 or whatever it is. And then you've got all these small market cities where in the NFL you don't have that with the salary cap and the disparity. Green Bay's the smallest market in pro sports. Mm-hmm. It doesn't hamper them. In baseball, the geographic advantage is really hurting the sport in cities like Cleveland and Pittsburgh and Detroit. How do they fix that? How can that possibly be addressed?
I mean, we talk about it. I mean, it's the players-driven league, though, but it's because of the caps, I think. You know what
Does
I mean?
baseball need a cap, and would that fix
I mean,
it?
I'm not the commissioner, and that's not my job.
No,
you know
I
what I'm
know,
saying? I'm not the Player Association either, but I just think that you need to get players invested in growing the game. And that's when the league becomes marketless. And, you know, you can have a Russell and KD down to Oklahoma City, and they become the biggest stars, and nobody's ever been to OKC.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it has to be driven by the stars. And right now,
Yeah.
the league is driven by teams.
I think you need a salary floor even more than
Definitely. You gotta have
and
a-
a cap.
you gotta
I think
have
that-
a
I think
floor.
need
You
both.
gotta-
You got to have
teams should not-
$100 million even
minimum.
to be a team.
Yes.
And see, it's so
And what's great about that is the teams in the NBA. If you don't spend that money, it goes to the players on the team. That,
right, so
right,
you better
yeah.
spend it
So
anyhow
you
to
gotta
improve
spend
your
it.
team.
Yeah.
And I think to that point, when you look at baseball and the disparity in payroll, the Indians are down near the bottom.
It's the floor.
The Dodgers are 6 times higher
Yeah.
than them.
Yeah.
How is a team supposed to compete in the same league with a team that's spending $6 for every dollar they spend? The floor would fix that, and the cap would fix that as well, in my view, just because it would keep teams from having 4 or 5 $30 million plus dollar a year players.
They have a
It would-
soft
it
cap
was-
with the luxury. Most people
Yeah.
don't go over
It
that.
do-
way.
Yeah, but you
It plays as a cap.
You have to
Yeah.
have a buy-in from the owners and the players together. That's
Yeah.
how the NBA.
They
came
hate each
together.
other. Both sides.
Well,
of
to
the lot
CC's
of-
point earlier,
But you need everybody to come together
Yeah.
and structure
Right.
a deal that works for everybody.
players have
That's
to
what
realize-
keeps the Cleveland's and Cincinnati afloat.
Yeah.
While the Lakers get out on the lead, because you got to have everybody feeding from the same trough.
It just
and
feels
eating
like
from
you
the
should all
same
be
trough.
playing on the same field,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
in baseball, you're not.
CC, I got to get back to the back end of your career because you're with the Yankees. Obviously, you pitched great when you first got there, and then towards the end of your career, you started. You were struggling there for a little bit, and then you came back and you bounced back. Obviously, you went through some personal stuff. When I remember, thinking like, it felt like you kind of reinvented yourself at the end of your career. Like
Yeah.
you didn't have quite the same stuff, so you kind of pitched differently, and then you were great at the end of your career again. Was it all? Did you have to change? Like, did what you went through personally force a change? Is that why you struggled, or was it like how did it happen, and how did you bounce yourself back?
No, I think it was just me being stubborn with the change. I mean, I think I knew my velocity was dropping.
Yeah.
And if I would have went to the cutter, 2 years earlier,
Yeah.
then I think I would have been. The transition would have been a lot quicker, especially when I was throwing harder.
Yeah,
if
right.
I would have started throwing a cutter maybe 2012, 13,
Yeah.
when I was still throwing 92 to 94,
Right.
then it would have made a huge difference. But I wasn't ready yet. I was still stubborn, and
Right.
Andy was telling me,
I'm gassing them up.
I'm got four-seamer still.
Absolutely, why not?
Andy was telling me, he was like, no, you got to start, maybe start throwing the two-seamer a little more, start
Right.
moving the ball around, and not till I lost all that weight, and then my velocity really dropped.
Yeah.
Then I was like, oh, okay, I got to start moving the ball around, and he taught me the cutter. Luckily, I had him and Mo in my organization, Billy Connors,
Right, sure.
to teach me this.
Okay. I'm like, how do you just get a pitch? Who
No,
does
I'm
that?
learning from the masters. You know what I'm saying? I had
he
like
opened his
literally
mind that I
Master
need that
Yoda.
pitch.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To teach me this, I had the best left-hander to throw it, and then the guys that literally invented the pitch.
Yeah.
Right,
in my
right.
organization.
Guys, I
So-
hate to do this because I literally could sit here and talk to CC for 5 hours,
Yeah.
but we've got to let them go. You got a tea time, don't you?
I got
you
tea time.
do.
All right. it was great having you
Oh,
in.
my
He's
God.
one of the
appreciate
top
it.
dudes.
He's
I'm
the
gonna
best,
say
man.
one
He's
of the
the
top
best.
dudes that have ever pulled up on the show live. I'm
No,
gonna say that
appreciate
right.
it.
You are the
CC
best.
Sabathia, the great 2024
Hall of Famer.
Cooperstown We'll be there.
Do you
I
think
hope
about
so.
it?
No,
Do you
you'll
think
be
about the
there.
Hall
I
of
think
Fame?
about it now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I
you'll
was
be
just
there.
in Cooperstown with my 12-year-old,
Man.
and it was it,
You're going
it
in.
looked
I
like
think
it'd be a
you're
lot of
going
fun.
in.
You'll be
Yeah.
there.
I'm a big
2024.
get-together guy, and that's
Yeah.
a big get-together.
that's
You know
good.
what I mean?
Cleveland
So-
will descend on Cooperstown
Oh
for you.
my
I
God,
hope
that'd be
so.
awesome.
I hope
Ultimate
so.
Cleveland Sports Show taking a break. We'll be right back.